other way was kind of ugly. These are Christmas too. I don't see us yet.
It's probably gonna take a few seconds.
Ba-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Ba-da-dum, bum, bum, bum. All right, since we're live. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to BatYard's Finest, bringing you the finest of Batman and Superman and more in pop culture. I am today's host, Josh from Metropolis, and we're going to go in sequential order. So,
I am Jerry from Oa, your Green Lantern, and next is
I'm Matt from Gotham. How you guys doing?
hi. So we're going to discuss today's subjects of today are Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, 1978, and The Snowman, 2012 TV movie, the sequel to The Snowman and The Snowdog. Sorry, the sequel to The Snowman. I think it was 1984. Was the original. I could be wrong. Could have been 83, but we'll look into that. This is a segment of the show where we discuss BSBS, where we talk about bullshit pop culture, Batman, Superman, or whatever else kind of comes to mind. I don't know who wants to start.
I'll start because all I have is something just extremely small. I know last week we've had so much.
We had a lot of it.
It was a lot last week, but this time around, I just think it's something really interesting. So I was driving to work this morning, and I saw that we are getting a Frank Sinatra bar and lounge in Tennessee, which I'm really looking forward to. I think that's going to be a nice addition to all the revitalizing that they're doing around here. Really looking forward to it. Big Frank Sinatra song. I haven't started playing his Christmas album yet. I'll probably do that on my way to work tomorrow. I always like listening to a couple of Frank Sinatra songs every Christmas.
Yeah, that's cool. Are they going to be like performing like Frank Sinatra stuff there, or is it strict? Just kind of like
I have no idea yet. It's still. I tried finding some more information on it. There's nothing just yet. Probably because we're still recovering from COVID and the Christmas bombing that we had. So it might be some, planning and construction issues going on behind the scenes. But I really hope that the deal doesn't fall through. For me, if they go through and put a Frank Sinatra bar and lounge up, I'll probably be there like every other weekend, just because I know they'll probably have a live band and maybe somebody singing some of his songs.
That'd be dope, actually. I wonder if it's
really cool. We should come down to you. You sound like you got the place.
Like, I wonder if it's gonna be set in that era when he was performing and everything. Like the
I think
setting,
it will
the
be.
style of it.
We have a couple of places
music
that are
too.
kind of like cool. That.
That'd be nice.
But that's the best I got today.
I got two things. One is Chris Hemsworth is stepping down from acting at the moment because
I didn't get to read the article you sent me.
It finds out it's kind of strange. It's like weird. Like both his parents, both on each side, have Alzheimer's. Finds out he has like 8 times the amount of a normal person with one parent that has the trait on their side. Supposedly this is what the doctor said in this video he shared, and they don't know how fast it would rapidly grow on him. So he's deciding to drop out of acting for now, so he can hang out with his family more and have them actually have good found memories of him growing up, more of his kids growing up and everything, and his wife having him for longer.
So he's just taking a break for the time.
Technically, yeah. I don't know how long of a break, but I would say it's like a few years, so he doesn't fuck everything up with just being like, "Oh, I only did 3 months with you. I'm good now." I think he's gonna do at least a few years.
That means they're gonna replace Thor with Natalie Portman. It's gonna be official.
She's dead.
They're gonna get Henry Cavill to be Thor now.
Oh, yeah,
that'll be interesting. I mean, he will do a good job, but it'd be pretty jarring. So
it'd be a weird transitioning. But
speaking of which, I know this is BS, but I actually have a question. I was talking to one of my coworkers about it, and we all know James Gunn is working with DC now, and I was saying, Marvel should pick up Henry Cavill because he's a very good actor, but right now, he's a hot commodity because he also left Witcher to be Superman. Who would you guys like to see Henry Cavill play if he came to Marvel Cinematics?
Oh,
Ooh,
I have one. Matt, do you have one,
you?
or do you want to think? I'll
I
I'll
don't
go because
have
I have
one
one
right
on top of
now.
my head. I could see him as Hank. I think it's Hank McCoy as Beast for X-Men. I think that would be pretty cool.
I was thinking the same
I could
thing.
see that. All right. Oh, that's cool. Great minds. Okay.
Okay, I can
I could see him
see
as
that,
Beast.
but would they do practical effect on him? Like they did in like the earlier X-Men movies, or like in 3?
Probably so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because if
That.
they did
Yeah.
because they did with CGI, it feels like it'd be a waste of
No, they would
hiring
do what
him.
they did with Kelsey Grammer, like when they
Okay.
made him blue.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
take I'll agree on that one with you on
I
that one
also was
because
thinking
I
he
can't
would be
think
a
of one.
good Ghost Rider or Frank Castle as the Punisher.
Okay, Frank Castle works too.
I can see that. Yeah. I could see it now, like thinking about his role in Mission Impossible. The which I forget which one it's called. But when he played the
Henchman.
villain in Mission Impossible, I could see him. I could see him being the Punisher now.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. Like he was a villain in Mission Impossible, so I think he'd be a very good Frank Castle.
Yeah.
I definitely go to an early release to see that.
Well, speaking of Henry Cavill, my other BSBS is that he is now an executive producer on Warhammer, one of his favorite games he likes to play. So it's pretty
Is
cool
that
that
some
it's like
World of
a
Warcraft thing or no?
It's a
it's
tabletop
weird,
game
yeah.
like Dungeons and Dragons.
But at the same time, it does
Oh,
have like digital games. It does have some digital games
Yeah.
out there,
it
but
has digital
it's
monsters.
mostly what?
It has
Oh
digital
god,
monsters.
Digimon. But no, like yes, it has monsters, but like it's weird. It's a weird taste. It's like it's actually pretty funny knowing that he's a fan of Warhammer because I would never assume he'd be a fan of Warhammer.
Well, he likes World of Warcraft and all that nerdy stuff. He like built his
Hmm.
own computer. He
Yeah,
almost missed his announcement, his phone call announcement that he was going to be Superman because he was playing World of Warcraft. So
I'm glad that celebrities are getting into not necessarily like nerd culture, but things like you would never expect a
hmm
celebrity to enjoy.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
everybody's like, oh, you're a celebrity, so you must enjoy all this high society lifestyle and stuff. And some of them are like, no, I have a gaming PC. I run a guild in fucking World of Warcraft. I hold D&D sessions with some close friends. Like it's really refreshing to see how kind of relatable so many of them are now.
hmm And I got one more BS I just remembered just now. Rumors had it that Warner Brothers stock has hit a really high low because of James Gunn right now, because of this Superman issue. They're all now for the last few days. There's been a trending hashtag fire James Gunn.
I've
yeah,
been
I've been
seeing
seeing
that.
it.
So
How can something be a high low? Wouldn't it be
yeah,
a
like
low
I
low?
know, and they're saying it's
Yeah,
my
it's a
highest. They're
stocks
saying
are
this like
weird.
I know it's weird. I know the way I pronounce it. But it's
So
weird.
you're
It's like
saying,
the
oh, go
lowest.
ahead.
Yeah, over the years, I think there was. I forget what year it was. I think it was like it's something in the like, early 2000s. This year is probably the lowest that they have ever gotten with like stock set up because of James Gunn.
Well, everyone's pissed off now. Like I said, they're fighting an uphill
Yeah.
battle, and there's talks that Henry Cavill's and Gal Gadot's cameos have been cut out of the Flash movie. Who knows what's going on with that? That was supposed to be basically to fix the universe, but now since they're rebooting everything, are they going to release the movie? Like, what are they going to do? Like, what are they going to do with Aquaman 3 now? You know,
I thought
Aquaman
I heard
3.
I think Aquaman 3 is not even going to happen.
Well,
at this
whatever.
point.
Aquaman 2, whatever the fuck, whatever sequel they're on, the one that's made already. That's what I mean. Like all these films.
They're too much, Jerry. They're too much in the hole with both movies. They have to put them out. They have
They
to.
could
They
just
can't.
cancel The Flash because Ezra Miller is a predator and he's bat poo poo crazy.
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
no, nice.
I agree with you.
They should
I
have gotten rid of
do,
him
but
before they
get rid of
released
him.
Justice League.
Bring back the guy who was playing Cyborg and give him a solo movie. I
I
want
was
that.
actually, what did he?
What's his name? Fisher.
Oh,
Ray Fisher.
Yeah,
yeah, he was
something like that.
Well, he was defending something. I forget. He was helping. He was saying like agree. I forget what was happening with him. He was agreeing with something that was not okay or some bullshit. I don't know. I'm trying to remember his little argument there that everyone was going with. That kind of fucked everything up with him.
He was agreeing with Kanye.
I don't think that
Oh
was it.
God.
I don't think that was it. It was something else. It was a while back ago. I'm trying to remember, but he was like a lot of people were not happy with him. Ugh,
I
shit.
don't know.
A lot of the only two three DC actors that actually no one really has a problem with is Henry Cavill, I'm gonna pronounce her name right, and Jason Momoa. That's it. Those are the three. No one's like
Gal Gadot.
having issues. Gal Gadot. Thank you.
Yeah. So apparently people are saying that she's can too, but there's people tweeting at James Gunn like saying, "Oh, you fired Henry and Gal Gadot," and he's basically tweeting back at them saying like, "Oh, we never said we let go of Gal Gadot." So if they did not do that, they're fucking hypocrites because they got rid of Superman, and if they kept. And then if they do get rid of her, like they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't at this point. I think at this point they have to reboot everything. Because if they keep just one actor or a couple actors, it shows favoritism and it's kind of fucked up and it doesn't make any sense if they're rebooting everything. And he's kind of he's cutting his own legs because he did the Suicide Squad and the what the hell is it called? The Peacemaker show. So
True.
like he already created that, so like he's getting rid of his canon too, on top of it.
But
so
is this?
They don't know what they're doing.
But is this
I think
like
they're not even at the drawing board. They're on the chalkboard running through ideas.
Mm-hmm. No, they're cutting their own legs.
But like, is it like who's driving this though? Is it James Gunn in general or is it actual Warner Brothers? That is the problem.
Like it's James Gunn and some CEO, some Warner
Brothers. I think James Gunn does hold the reins on a lot of what's happening because, he made Guardians, which a lot of people liked as Marvel's like best set of movies. I know I like it a lot comparatively over some of the more actiony movies. But it's I think they need to definitely reevaluate the whole Henry Cavill deal and bring him back because I feel once they do, they'll fall back in favor somewhat with the fans because at this point, they're burning so many bridges. They're not going to have a support left to even sell a movie.
Well, you know what I would do? I would continue doing like the reboot. I think they should continue the reboot because like keep the Batman. He's like a younger Batman, so kind of fit it in that kind of universe. And if they're gonna get Henry Cavill and all the older actors back, they should do like an Elseworld story, like the Red Sun, like with Henry Cavill. That would be fucking awesome.
Oh god!
Or they did like Kingdom Come or something. They did like some Elseworld stories with these actors. They still utilize them, and then they could do, I don't know, some multiverse thing with these actors, so they could kind of like combine universes. That's what I would do if I was them.
They could do the Blackest Night and give us a Green Lantern for once.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And like you utilize all these characters and all these actors, and then they could kind of combine and utilize both factions at the same time. But that doesn't sound like that's what they're doing. I know there's talks that Jason Momoa is going to play Lobo. in the new
I've been
universe.
seeing that more frequently, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how does that even make sense? Because he's Aquaman right now.
Well, yeah.
Well, when
I
they
think
reboot, it
they're-
doesn't matter.
Yeah, the reboot, and then I mean, I think he works more as a logo.
Yeah, he'll definitely be a
than
great logo.
Aquaman.
I'm excited if it's true, but I'm just
Yeah, it's very
you
confusing.
just had him do Aquaman, so having
Yeah.
him switch over is gonna be. I mean, even as an actor, that's gonna
Very
be a
jarring.
big transition.
Yeah, very very jarring. I don't know. They're it's so weird because it's so fresh from when they're changing over too. Like it's like we just got these characters in these movies and they're already like jumping ship, abandoning ship. It's kind of like, all right,
Honest, this is kind of showing that both DC and I know we haven't really spoken on Marvel much, but DC and Marvel have just gotten so complacent where they are. They don't know what they want to do going forward. I mean, because
Marvel
it's
has
like
their
I've told
formula
people,
though.
Marvel can make a horrible movie and it'll be Marvel's worst movie will be better than DC's best film. Just because people are so ingrained and in tune with Marvel since Iron Man in 2008.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. I would say their worst film is not nearly as bad as the DC's worst film, but I think there's a few there was definitely a few DC movies that excelled like over a lot of Marvel properties. Like I think like in recent years, I think Shazam was one of them that was pretty good.
I forget that Shazam is DC because it's so fucking awesome.
The first Wonder Woman was like pretty adequate. It wasn't great. But
it was decent.
Good.
I'd
Yeah.
rewatch it if somebody forced me to. Don't get any crazy ideas, Matt.
I think we got to do the second one with you because it's so bad shit.
I don't want to watch that. No, I watched that once.
You do.
I watched it once. I don't need to watch it again. I don't need to.
We need to watch Batman versus Superman.
We still haven't watched that on this podcast. That's gonna be.
We're gonna leave that alone.
That's gonna be saved for later. I really don't want to watch that ever again.
We're gonna put that back under the rock that it belongs under. Okay.
We have to talk about it
eventually.
No, we can just leave that under that rock. We have to bring Jesse on if we have to because he's a super fanboy on that.
Yeah, he does love that movie. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
We still haven't talked about Man of Steel, which is like a pretty adequate movie.
Ooh.
The more
movie.
The more I kind of look back on it, the more I respect it. You know, like when it first came out, I kind of was like, I don't know, I was on the fence, but like now I'm like, oh, you know, it's at least felt like a movie comparatively compared to Batman vs Superman and Justice League.
We don't have to talk about Justice League.
Which one?
Well, we did talk about the Snyder
cut.
Oh yeah, the Snyder cut. I forget that exists.
Yeah, we
4 hours of hell.
So
4 hours of hell.
I wouldn't say it was hell, but it was too long.
That's why it's hell.
Yeah, it was long, too long. But I thought it was good. It was definitely better than what we got. Yeah, I don't know. I would like them to. I don't want these characters to be younger. I want them to be aged up. Like I want them to be in their prime, and that's why I'm more interested if they kept the same actors and like showcase these characters like when they're like really know what they're doing and like and really are like within the prime of being a hero. Like I want to see Superman like 3 years into it, or like we've seen Batman in his prime multiple times, but I feel like every time we see Superman, it's always like they start from the beginning.
Yeah, they start right when he gets to the city.
Yeah,
I still think we should get a Batman Beyond. Michael Keaton is finally the right age, and he's not dead yet.
Oh God! Don't say that.
He's like a good age.
He's
definitely a good age. I don't think he's too old, like either. He's like at a prime age, like you said.
And he already has experience as the Bat, so all he has to do is just relive that, few set of movies he did.
True.
Well, since we're on topic, I just have a question for you guys. What is your favorite DC movie? And then what is your favorite
Live
Marvel?
action or animated?
We're gonna do live action, and it doesn't have to
Okay.
be, from this this universe.
Any year.
It could be any
Any
year. It
year.
could be from the 80s, the 70s, the 50s, the 60s.
God forbid. I'm not gonna lie. I think the most like Batman movie I've watched is the Batman the movie for the 1970s of Adam West. I'm not gonna that
60s.
60s. My bad. 60s. I've seen that too many fucking times, so I'll say that's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Lit. Yep.
Yeah. That one's definitely fun, but I would not put it on my favorite.
Hey, I have too many fond memories with that freaking movie.
That's fair. Jerry, what's yours? I could give you mine if you need more time.
I'm trying to remember because I don't want to get the actors mixed up. But definitely the I think it was Batman with Val Kilmer when he was going against the Penguin.
Oh no, that's Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
that's Michael Keaton. Okay, I always get it mixed up because like right after Val Kilmer is Michael Keaton.
No, it was Michael Keaton.
No, it
was Michael Keaton, then Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I'm still in a food coma. I had my office party today. I'm sorry, everybody. I had fucking 5 cups of eggnog.
No, so you like Batman Returns the best? That's your favorite?
Yeah, because I'm a big Danny DeVito fan, and that's the one thing I remember him like as a solidified role in.
Yeah, me too.
God, I think I've watched that movie at least 10, if not 15 times.
You know, technically that's a Christmas movie. We could have done that as a Christmas theme episode. That would have been good.
I thought about it because I'm like, I remember them doing Christmas scenes in that movie.
Yeah, there's the Christmas season in that. That's my introduction to Batman. Was that one?
But wasn't Christmas?
I remember my introduction to Batman was when, what is his name?
Adam West.
Jackie Nicholson was the Joker.
That's the Batman.
That's the first one, 89.
Yeah,
that's Michael Keaton too. Yeah, it took me a while to see that one.
Wasn't there a Christmas sequence in that too?
In what?
Probably
in the Batman.
89.
89.
No, I don't think so. There's snow in it.
Yeah, there's snow in it.
Not Michael Keaton. What the fuck's his name? Tim Burton has snow in all his movies. So.
All of his movies have snow.
Yeah.
You can watch any of them, and it's a Christmas film.
Yeah. Hey. But there's specifically Christmas in Batman Returns, so that would be a good Christmas episode in the future.
Because my all-time favorite scene from that movie is when the Penguin's dead, and he's got his gang of penguins he kept.
Oh God!
And they just kind of surround him and just take him away to hold their like little burial for him. And I'm like, that's so fucking weird. I hate it, but it's also awesome at the same time. Because those penguins were fucking enormous, and it scared me as a kid.
Yeah, exactly. That movie's not like suitable for children, really. And I was introduced to that when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And that was my introduction to Batman.
Fucking gets the electrical wires, and she's like, "Let me give you a kiss, baby," and she just fucking shocks him to death. I'm like,
yeah. And then Christopher Walken dies. The blood is coming out of Penguin's mouth. It's all gratuitous. He bites some guy's nose off. It's pretty disgusting. You guys probably already know what my favorite DC movie is. I'd be very surprised if you didn't, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
I guess it is Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
Oh
yes, no, it's definitely not. I forgot that.
I want to go with Superman 2.
No, mine's Superman 1. Mine's Superman the movie. Superman the movie is my favorite. Superman 2 is good. I think it would, if it was like the Richard Donner cut, and if it was actually if that went into fruition in the alternate better timeline, we kept Richard Donner for all the Superman movies, I think that would definitely be on the same level. But that didn't happen. That's a whole other story. We'll get we could talk about that later. But I just wanted to ask you guys that. So I guess, do you guys have any other BS before we move on?
I slightly
I
just remember something again.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say after Crispy to help close this out.
Okay.
Okay.
I just remember that Netflix just picked up Gamera, our friendly neighborhood giant giant turtle.
Turtle.
How to properly quote it. They're bringing them as like an animated TV show. Don't know how many episodes we may get. If it was like singular point of Godzilla, that was about 15, I think 15 to 25 episodes. I'm trying to remember. And I don't know what direction still we're going with him. I don't know if we're getting a reboot or if it's established like how we're doing with this DC stuff here. And it's kind of weird that Netflix is grabbing all these kaiju stuff right now because they got King Kong still in the chamber that come out, and they did a Godzilla anime like last year. So it's kind of strange.
Well, they have to have
Mhm.
some property, right? They have what?
Yeah.
Stranger Things, I guess Kaiju's, which I thought Warner Brothers had the tie-in with King Kong and
I also thought that.
Godzilla because
King,
they had the movie,
they
that one
did.
that just came out.
It's weird. It's like King Kong is Universal, but at the same time, Warner Brothers shares them. But now Netflix is grabbing in them. But Gamera has actually never been touched other than their original. I believe was made by the original company that made him. He's
Hmm.
never been strayed away from them. Like it hasn't been like, oh, Legendaries picked it up or anybody like that. It just kept on getting reamped by the same people and probably different production companies that they work with in their little area.
Are they gonna do Ultraman then, or is this
Ultraman's on Netflix, so that's
okay?
different. They already did
What about
something. No, because no, they already no. Jet Jaguar got remade in singular point Godzilla. Godzilla singular point. That's better the pronouncing of it. They took away his design because Toho really hates Jet Jaguar's design,
Hmm.
and so they made him worse looking
Oh
in singular
God,
point. He is instead of being like a person like Ultraman, he is now a fatter, clampier robot with the same Jaguar face. And they
he's a
only
transforming Michael Jackson.
no, 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 no. He is
You
not a
gotta bring it
transforming
back.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
No, no, he is not. I rather see that in an animated freaking like show than what they did to Jet Jaguar. But Jet
You want
Jaguar
to see
was.
Michael Jackson?
I want to see Michael Jackson come back as a robot and
Like,
Transformers. They have to bring him back in a Transformers movie, like a show or something. Michael, we need you. All right, and then he just.
oh my
but
gosh. Yeah, well, we
that'd
have
be
to
fucking
show you that
awesome.
movie so you have context, Jerry.
But
Okay.
That
But-
whole thing.
Toho did a competition, and the Jet Jaguar won, but the Toho people, I don't know what they were thinking and allowing it to win, but they let them win, but they actually hate the design also. It's like weird. I don't know. But I'm kind of wondering what Gamera is gonna be like because he's my other second favorite kaiju. He's probably my
He
second.
couldn't
He's
beat
in.
King Ghidorah
They didn't cross. They didn't. They
because he
didn't tread
couldn't beat him.
waters. They never shared story. That they never shared dimensions. God damn it! But there is talk that they were trying to bring Gamera into the legendary universe so he can fight Godzilla and King Kong, or just Godzilla at some point. It's weird.
That'd be cool to see.
But other than that, that's my news that I got that I can remember. Jerry, it's all you.
Just to close out our BS, Henry Cavill has escaped the curse of Superman, so we have that to be thankful for.
Oh, you mean like he hasn't
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
paralyzed or got shot or anything like that?
Oh God.
Well, I mean, he kind of has the same curse as Brandon Routh, where he got like exiled.
Yeah, there you go.
I still got hope that he might come back. It's on the table in my books.
Well, Brandon
Routh. It would be cool to see them utilize Henry Cavill and Brandon Routh in like different Superman Elseworld stories.
Well, Brandon Routh, he did come back for DC. Was it?
Yeah, that's a
the
show.
CW stuff, but still,
no
he
one
did come.
cares about those.
Oh my. Okay.
Not anymore. We don't.
You tell the fans out there about that.
No one cares
I will.
about that.
Go do it, Jerry. Go do it.
No, we need to talk about the Snowman and the Snowdog.
Yes.
Impressions.
Yes. So, the Snowman and the Snowdog. I would like Mateo to do the synopsis.
Okay, so this is depressing. I asked Josh if this was depressing, and it is depressing. He lied to me. He lied to us.
It's not as depressing as the first one, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's not. I think the first one hits a lot harder, at least for me.
I don't know. I had too many.
Because he gets a dog out of it. He gets a real dog. It comes to life. It's like real. It's a softer blow this time.
Yeah. I got so many theories in my head because of this fucking thing. But let's go.
Say the synopsis and then
I know.
say your theories later.
So, the Snowman and the Snowdog is basically this child had a dog that ended up passing away, and right before Christmas, as it snowed, right before it snowed and everything, and he ended up finding like a loose floorboard in his like bedroom, and he ended up discovering the snowman from the Snowman short that we did last year. His whole like hat scarf set up, and he ends up remaking him in the backyard of the house and with the same stuff. And as he finishes making his snowman, due that he's missing his dog for the holidays, he makes him a snow dog and sets him up. And in like tradition of the last short, the snowman does come to life, and so does the dog. But the kid wasn't expecting this to happen. He was gonna walk away, but the dog kept on doing this twitches like, I'm here, and it takes you through basically the same stuff, like not the same stuff that what happened in the first in the Snowman short. And they do a bunch of running around the house. They're being goofballs and all that stuff, but the snowman ends up taking both the dog and the boy to leave to the North Pole, where all these snowmen and snow women or snow children and all this stuff fly off to, and they all have these. This one's actually different from last one. This one was actually an actual giant snowman event that they had. They had sled racing, ice skating. They had all kinds of like stuff. They actually had
different
culture. They did, yeah,
and a penguin.
Penguin. They had
the
Mario 64 race. But there was that was happening. But it was neat that they brought in different cultures and like into the snow and this this short. And
there was
everything.
Different snowmen.
Yeah,
it wasn't just him flying. It was like multiple snowmen.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like different cultures. You had different countries and all that stuff coming into play. So it's just like not generic. Like in the original one was more generic snowmen. And then we end up getting to meet Santa again, and he ends up giving the gift to the child, and the child puts that in his back pocket. And the snowman realizes, oh shit, his sun's coming up. We have to get you home before shit like this. We can't take you back home again. So he ends up flying him home and giving him back. And like the boy ends up ready to leave them like in the yard as is, but the boy ends up taking out a collar that I believe is the gift from Santa and puts it around the dog's neck, and the dog ends up coming to life and becoming a puppy for the boy to enjoy the rest of his life with until that dog decides to pass and all that junk. But then, like, as they turn back next morning later, they wake up, the snowmans end up being melted and just squished down, and they don't rebuild them. That's how it is. They both weep for their passing of the snow buddy that they had from the night before. It's actually this is actually strange because like eh, I'm not gonna lie, the snowman has merch. There's a
Oh
he
yeah,
has
some
someone
kid
has
has like a stuffed
he has a toy, yeah.
snowman out the window.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
he's looking out the window.
And like it looks like this kid is a family member of at least a family member of the kid from the original short.
I think he
Because
just moves in the same house.
Yeah, he
I don't
moves in
think
the
they're
same house.
related.
they have the picture
It's
of
the
the
same
kid,
house.
but they have a picture of the kid on the
He
fridge.
found it under the floorboard.
Mm,
He found it under his floorboard with all the other snowman gear. And I think he just put it up there because he's like that was like his visual representation of how he was making the snowman. So he's like using that as a reference, and then he just put it on the fridge. I think. I don't think there's any relations. I think they just moved in the same house.
okay. And then what's it called? There's actually like they go in the shed. You actually have the bike. They end up driving around in the first snowman short. Remember the bike they drive around on?
Yeah, yeah.
That bike's
Yeah.
there, and they have a
And-
moment they pause and they're like, "Should I take the bike? Nah, let's not take the bike." They end up
Instead,
going
they
steal a
jack an
plane.
airplane.
to-
They
yeah,
steal someone's airplane, and now he has no fuel. So like when he's like about to fly off to like wherever in the mountains, he's gonna crash into it because he's like, I have no fuel. Oh no, the snowman used it
oh
all
my,
to get
oh
to
my
the North
God.
Pole. I'm gonna die.
I'm not gonna lie, I did like the animation for this. That you can tell is different from the original, and it's
Yeah, there's
more
more
up to
computer
date.
enhancements. Yeah.
Yeah, there's up to date
Mhm.
style drawing, and like I like how they try to keep to the original
They
instead of just
did.
being like, this is our own thing now. We're gonna
Yeah,
do
that would suck
this
if
and
they
all
made
that
it like
junk.
3D animation. Imagine if they
Oh
did.
God, that would have been
that.
awful. That's what I was kind of expecting. I'm like,
No.
oh, they're gonna ruin a great story, but
No, no.
they kept it
It-
very true. Like
yeah,
Matt
no, it's
said.
a, it's
I
a,
liked
it's
it. I
definitely
loved
good
it a lot.
tie-in.
The
Yeah.
music,
I loved it.
the scores in it's actually really good too. Like it
The
was.
score is good. I like the score from the original better,
Yeah.
for sure. But it still fits. You know, it still
Mhm.
works. Like I'm waiting for the walking through the air song to play when they're flying, but it's some other
That's what I was
song.
waiting for. I'm like,
They
Yeah.
changed it to this
Walking
other
through
song.
the
They changed it to a
Yeah.
different song, like high up in the air, the sky, and something like that.
I don't even remember how it went. I remember the instrumentation was pretty good, but I didn't really care for the lyrics.
Well,
but
he
it
was so.
fine.
Me
It
and Jerry were
fit.
talking about this earlier. He was so soft spoken through when he was singing, so it was like the music and
Yeah.
his voice blended a
like
lot.
I
Yeah.
could barely hear him. I was
Yeah,
like,
I just
I
heard
feel
the
like
music.
he's saying something, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
The only thing that saved me with the lyrics is that I was using my headphone, and the headphone was projecting his lyrics a lot better into my ear than just watching it on my phone or just on my laptop or something.
I'm sorry.
It's like,
Oh no, it's just some people have a soft singing voice.
No,
Yeah.
he definitely did.
This movie was absolutely depressing.
it was.
It made me feel so sad and bad because last month we had to put my girlfriend's dog down because he was
man.
old and he was sick. And I'm watching this, I'm like, man,
I'm sorry.
I'm like, I miss my little buddy now. But it was,
Yeah.
even though I say that, I still enjoyed this a lot because it was like, I know if he could move around and stuff like he used to, he would enjoy being outside for like all of 2 seconds. And then he's like, okay, take me in the house. It's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm with Jerry on that because I had so many dogs that we had to put like over the years. They get old and we had to put them down and stuff. And it's just like it brings in like memories. Like yeah, I think I was like that at one point when I was a kid. Like I kind of wish my dog came back, and I kind
Yeah.
of grasped that feeling of this like the vibe of this like short. So I'm just like oof,
Yeah, I definitely
like
felt
oof.
like that too. There's like a dog I grew up with, same kind of feel. Um, yeah, I think it is sad, but like at the same time, I think the blow is less harsh at the end of the movie because he does get like his snow dog turns into a real
A real
dog.
dog.
I
Yeah.
have a theory on this one. I don't know if it's
Okay, go
real.
ahead.
I don't know if it's real because I don't think it's real because it's a weird theory because the there's a song when they fly back home. It was right before the what's it called? They do the whole transitioning. The dog turns into the real dog, and
Yeah.
the lyrics is like I can see the ground, and I can see the ground. I can't see you and see your see our hometown. I can't see you leave the light on leave the lights on when I go. So can what is it? So I can watch you down below. It's weird. It's a weird lyric. It sounds like it's like the dog can't see, like couldn't properly. It's like talking about the dog's spirit like leaving. It feels like, and like it wants to like watch over him. It's a weird vibe. To me,
But
it
it could
feels
have been
weird.
he could be talking about the first dog.
That's what I
And
mean. Like the first
before
dog.
isn't it that's before
That's
the second dog comes to life,
Yeah, it's
right?
before the dog. That's what I mean. Like it feels
Yeah.
like that vibe. If I could read it better, if like instead of me stuttering like an idiot. But if like it feels like that first dog is like once he put the collar around, that first dog came back as that new dog, but it's not like his like a real like dog. It's more of a spirit dog that's gonna nice touch. It's a spirit. It's like a spirit dog that's like a puppy style, but it's like ghostly vibe instead of like how the first dog was more like gray and black with like white legs. This dog is white with with black ears, tips. It feels like it's a different vibe, and like the parents. And the one thing that doesn't help is that the parents don't see the dog
Yeah,
either.
she doesn't interact with
Yeah.
No one
the
interacts
dog.
with
I
the
did think of
dog
that
but the
too.
kid, and I would assume that the parents would have like went with him and saw the dog in the kitchen, but they never had the panning of a parent seeing the dog. So I
Well, he
assume,
does kind of like run past her, like his
but
mom.
the dog never runs by them either.
Yeah,
It's
but the
the
mom is like
kid.
hung over, like walking down the stairs, and like the kid like pushes her over. He's like, "I'm going outside,
I
see
know,
my
but like,
where my dog is and my snowman," and then they kind of run outside pretty quickly. So like
yeah,
in her drunken stagger, she didn't have time to see the dog in the
you're
kitchen.
trying to kill my theory. Okay, I
I also
see.
have my own theory about the dog, and it's more just like the snowman from the first one. Because this kid took the death of a dog really well, which is hard for a kid to
Hmm.
even do. He definitely is older than the child in the first one, so I'd say he might be maybe like early teen or
I want to give him
tween,
like 13.
but still, at like 13, your dog is still your best friend. And with how I'm not saying how quickly he was like, I'm gonna, make this snow, he made the snow dog to remember his companion. But when he got the collar and the dog came to life, I was thinking more so maybe he's using this snow dog as a coping mechanism to, get the final like feelings and I love you, you're a good boy, you're my best friend out with, because when the dog went in the house and was sitting by the fire and it started melting, obviously he freaked out because this is a magical snow dog and I want
Hmm.
to keep it alive as long as possible. But it's, to me, the urgency and like the sense of danger in his face and eyes was like, oh, I'm about to lose my dog again, and I can't, bear to go through with that. Especially after the dog comes to life and they go in the house and he goes to sleep, and he wakes up in a frenzy, like, what happened to my snow dog that came to life? And he's just real frantic and almost hysterical until he finds him. And he's like, okay, like, my dog's still here. It wasn't a fever dream. This is my new pet. And I definitely think the dog could be real, but like how Josh said, he just whisked past the parents so quickly that, who's to say he might not have found a stray dog or something and put a new collar on it while he was sleeping at night. It was like, all right, you're my new friend. We're going to get tacos in the morning kind of deal.
Yeah. I think the dog's alive. Wait, go ahead.
Oh, no, and I was just going to talk about the Snowman event, village, the Snowman party, because that's really what it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was so awesome that we see, like how Matt said, there's snowmen from all over. There's snowmen from, Latin America, Asia, Europe, maybe even a few from like Africa and stuff, because you can see the cultures they're representing when they're doing like the ski race, which I thought was funny because these snowmen are smart enough to be able to like fly planes and make all these items and stuff and run these vendor stalls, but they can't ski down this little mountainous path without crashing. And I thought it was so funny because it's such a lighthearted and fun moment that the child's enjoying. It's like, oh, this is so cool. And definitely now with this one, I'm saying the snowman is more so like a guardian angel for, people going through some type of trauma to help, get the process of grief started or, work them through the biggest hump, which is, acceptance. Because when in both films, when the snowman's at the end, both children are looking at him like, oh, he's, like this fantastical being that I just made. He's gone and I'll never be able to see him again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, this one kind of softens the blow of the first one too, because the snowman does come back, so it's like when he dies at the end of this, I'm like, oh, well, you could just kind of make him next year. It's not like, it doesn't hit as hard as it does in the first one, because you don't know what the outcome is gonna be. Like when he's gone, he's like, he's fucking dead.
He's gone.
What if
that's what I thought?
Yeah. And then this one kind of softens the blow. I'm not saying like it takes away anything from the first one. It just kind of like softens it a bit, for the messaging. But it's a good companion piece. Like I'm glad I seen this. This is my second time actually watching it, because I watched it last year when I showed you guys the first Snowman, and it just kind of came on. I was like, oh, what's this? There's a sequel? Oh, cool. I watched it. And I talked about it a little bit last year. And, I think it was just kind of a cool tie-in just to kind of keep the Snowman going, We'll bring it back. We brought the Snowman back this year. It came back to life for us here at the
Round 2, baby.
Oh, God.
It came to life in our BatYard. But what were you going to say, Matt?
But what if it's what if the snowman is a one-shot snowman for one kid, for each kid? What if he only comes back?
That would probably make sense.
Like he only comes back for
that does make
one
sense.
moment to give that one kid some joy. That he knows his kid maybe has a little bit of issues in his life, and he's like, "How about I fix that moment for you?" And then he comes to life, and he freaking does what he has to do. Then he dips.
Yeah, I guess that would be pretty harsh blow because you could only see your friend once per person. Only one ride per
Hmm.
customer.
Yeah.
So that makes
Everybody gets
sense.
one free save.
What if this? All right, I just came up with a theory. I don't think it's correct, but here's my theory.
Wrong.
What if? I don't think it's correct. But what if the first kid? I think his name was James. I could be wrong. The first redheaded kid.
Hmm.
When he dies, his soul gets transferred into that snowman. So so he's dead, and now he's the
Oh,
snowman.
kind of like a Pumpkinhead
Oh.
deal.
Yeah, it's like a snowman curse.
Okay.
I
I don't think
could,
this is correct, but
I
I could
I
see
I
something like that being
Yeah,
true because it's
yeah.
like, oh, I made this snowman and it helps me, so I'm gonna help you because you built the exact same snowman
Yeah.
and you're having a hard time with something like I did. Yeah, I can see something of that nature happening. That
Well, it's
definitely makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
it's obviously decades from when the first kid was there because there's so much architecture around the
Yeah.
house. Like the first movie, it's just a house and then like fields, you know. And this, like
There's a
there's
town.
fencing that's enclosing the backyard, and there's a lot more buildings, there's streets, like there's crossroads. There's a lot more going on. And so it is the same house. It took me a little bit to figure out that it was the same house.
Yeah, it took me
Um,
the same because I was like, this looks like the same house, but I feel like it's different.
Yeah.
Mm,
Once I saw the snowman's stuff under the floorboards, I was like, "Oh, this is the same house," And that's where the picture is with the first kid. It's under that, and then I like how the original orange is there, but it's all shriveled up.
Yeah,
Like
it's
looks like
all
a
yeah.
heart now.
decayed and molded, and
Yeah.
he's like,
So like
ugh.
grabs a new one, but that shriveled up nose becomes the dog's nose,
True.
like the heart shaped
Yes.
one. I thought the dog's design is very simple and cute. Like I liked how the design of it. I just like how simple it is. Like there's only like so few simple shapes, and you know exactly what it is. I think it's a really good design.
Yeah, I
With the
kind of like.
socks for ears, that's pretty cool.
I like how they didn't
Yeah,
go
he.
Yeah,
overboard.
I
yeah, it's
definitely
very
like how
simple.
simplistic he kept the dog's design. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, that's kind of neat. He's giving the dog little sock ears. I thought he might give him like a well, he obviously he used his old dog's collar and stuff. But I was thinking like, oh, he might give him like how some people give their animals like little coats and stuff. I was thinking like, oh, he might give him like a little fake coat to wear.
Yeah, or like a scarf or something.
Mm.
Yeah.
But like the most detail we get for like a dog is the original. We get like is the original dog in the beginning that he has like the best detail. If you can tell, like if he's the one we get at the end is more puppyish, so you give it like it's more of a simple
Yeah.
design also. But when we get to like the older dog in the beginning, he's more like you got a real shape of a dog there. And
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, they put a lot of detail in how it walks, how it was reacting to how it was like aged and everything. And I was pretty shocked, like how I'm like, that's kind of like how all older dogs get when they get to that age, like to an age they can't properly walk, they can't do things, and you can see the struggle in the dog. And I was like, this is a little oof. I can't now. Like, I've been through too many dogs to see this. I don't want to see this more.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
the signs. Ooh.
That's
But
cool that you picked up that detail. Yeah.
and like you didn't like including the one thing that didn't we did not get to see is the playfulness. If they added that to it, I would just turned off the video because I would not want to
Yeah.
watch it. Because
That would
once
have
the
been too
dog
hard to watch.
because the dog at the end, like once you it's so hard to like go through like I keep saying, like I've been through so many dogs. When they get to the age where they get older and they know it's about the time where you were gonna put them down, they start getting playful, puppyish. And I'm like, if they added that, I'll just be like, all right, I'm done. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, I
think
may
that
have
would
to
have
skip.
broke my spirit
I would
because
not
it's
like. Is
I
that
like how it's implied how the dog passed. Like they don't show it. Like you kind of know from where
yeah?
they pan from the dog bed. There's an empty dog bed, and then it goes to the window, and it's just like first winter. Basically, it's like November because you can
Mhm.
tell
Yeah.
because there's still a pumpkin from Halloween, a jack-o'-lantern at the window. I like that touch. I like that little detail that they added because it's like, oh, the seasons are changing, but they still have remnants of the fall season. I thought that was cool. And then like it goes out the window, and then they show the dog's burial. I just
Yeah,
like the like how it
the
shows the change of,
transitions,
of seasons. Yeah,
the
I thought that was
transitioning
pretty
of it.
cool.
Yeah,
Like that little detail of just like having a jack o' lantern still in your window, like in November. I thought that was pretty cool because that's kind of how like some people like it takes them a bit to put down their decorations.
I
So I
the
thought it
one
was
thing
cool.
the one thing I do like, another thing I did like that was like they were speaking how like this is like early snow and everything, and it's so thin of a snow layer that this kid can barely make his snowman. He made up to the neck, and he didn't have enough for his head, so he was knocking snow off his freaking roof to make the
Yeah, that
rest
was
of
a
the
cool
snowman.
detail.
And then after he made the snowman, I'm not gonna lie, Mother Nature's a bitch because next day later it fucking snows
Yeah, it's just like
for
yeah.
him, and he has enough to make the puppy, like the dog, and then add to
Well, it
finishes off
snows the
his
next
setup.
day, and then the very
Yeah,
next day after that, he melts. So it's like
yeah,
the
it's true.
temperature's like going up and down like
Hey,
that.
it's like
It's
New
just
York
riding
right
the roller
now.
coaster.
Yeah,
Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this,
What?
but when the kid, the Snowman and Snowdog first get to the Snowman event, the penguin is sliding in on his tum tum, and he sees the
yeah.
kid, and he does like a little nod, like, "Okay, I see where we're going. You better not try to take my first place trophy from me in the ski race."
I've been
I
champion
noticed.
for
Because at
100
I
every
noticed him
years.
little
like rolling
frame
up in the
else,
beginning.
like you see him just subtly, like, doing the penguin waddle, like, seeing the little snowman vendors buying some fish. And then when he gets up to the ski, he's like, and then he pulls his goggles
Yeah,
down and he's just like freaking Sean White on the slopes, and he's just doing
yeah.
flips
He's
and tricks.
definitely
And the kid's
smug.
just like,
Yeah,
He's
that's
like.
what.
It seems like he's the one who wins every year, and he's like, "You're not taking this away from me." And then like he loses, and then he just like slides off frame. He just like, I'm done with this movie. I'm out of here."
No, that's why it gave me so like Mario 64 vibes with that scene, because like in Mario 64 we have the snow level where we go down the chimney and we end up racing the
The
grown-up
penguin.
penguin on the
"Yep."
Oh
slide,
yeah.
and then like that penguin's never been beaten before. Like, I'm the fastest penguin here, bitch. Aha. And then like you race that
I
shit and you like
remember
try to
that.
survive that shit. And
I
then when you
remember
Well,
win,
dropping the baby penguin off the edge.
that's dark and depressing too. Why?
yeah.
we all have been there, buddy. It's just, wah, wah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But
You
like,
know that
yeah,
scene? That scene reminded me of the movie we reviewed last year, the Jack Frost scene when they're fucking on the sleds and
when he
shit,
gets
and they're
titties.
throwing,
Oh
yeah, and
yeah.
they're throwing snowballs at each
It
other. It reminded me of that. And I was like, I don't want to be thinking of that right now. I mean, I guess it does make the connection, like the
makes
snowman,
sense.
and we did watch it on the snowman episode. So I was like, oh, I'm thinking of Michael Keaton as a snowman.
The,
Get
the
it
the
out of my
funny
head.
But the funny thing is, with your theory that you came up with, was like I was gonna mention that it was like kind of like gave me this Jack Frost feel,
That
because
Michael
that
Keaton
Mario
Yeah.
Keaton popped in my head too when you were discussing your theory,
Yeah.
because like maybe this kid making the snowman activated a thing to
is
connect
Michael
the
Keaton.
no, but sure, but no, like it brought back like the spirit. If, let's say this child that the child that from the first one did like has passed away and everything, it may activated maybe something to to send the child's spirit, or then his whatever his spirit, back to that snowman to do whatever he had to do. Like they continue onward. Like it was like that kind of thing. Like, and then he says his goodbye, like Michael Keaton had to do in Jack Frost also. He says his goodbye after he ended up helping the kid out with his shit and showing him, well, oh, this is it. This is how you had to figure out your own stuff and like get through life.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. That does make sense.
Yeah,
I
it's the
didn't
same
get.
movie.
I didn't think of Michael Keaton, but I definitely was thinking, like how we said before, is the previous child who lived there before. Continuing the process of being, that guardian. And who's to say, it might not be his version of a Michael Keaton that's not a creepy CGI snowman.
What
Yeah,
do you
that
mean? He
movie
wasn't creepy.
sucks. In that
That
movie,
movie
yeah.
was great.
It was amazing. I'm waiting for the second one to come out 20 years later. And come on now.
That would be kind of great. I kind of hope that happens now.
What's his
Instead
name
of Batman Beyond, they're gonna do Jack Frost Beyond, and he's gonna
Fuck.
mentor. He's gonna mentor his son, who turns into a snowman when he
Fuck.
dies.
What's his kid's name? What's his kid? I want to call his
Charlie,
kid Charlie. I
I
was
think.
gonna say Charlie, but I thought it was
Yeah.
wrong. Like, God damn it, Charlie! You're 35 years old. Go fuck off. I did this once. I'm not doing it again.
Charlie, I've been here for every one of your major life events. Let me rest in peace, please.
Well, no,
Why won't you let me die? Let me die.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a weird movie. What an odd movie. Do you guys have final thoughts about the Snowman and the Snowdog?
I'm not gonna say I don't enjoy it as much as the first one, because there's certain things I thought were pretty whimsical and very Christmassy.
Yeah, no, it definitely has the same feel.
It definitely still holds the same level of quality as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I would still say I'd watch this again next year. Show it to at like a Christmas party or something. I think it'd be
That's
fun.
cool.
I don't want to depress people, but sure.
Yeah, maybe not for a Christmas party. Maybe like a family could get together.
Yeah, like a small gathering. Like you're like hanging out with your mom and your dad, and there's like, oh, want to watch something stupid before anything? Blah blah.
This is not stupid, Matt.
Oh my god!
Get
sorry.
out. You're fired.
Now we're the dynamic duo.
Hey, that was our thing.
Where is Matt? He actually left. There he is. All right, so what are you guys' ratings?
I'm gonna let Matt go first.
Okay. I didn't even get to say my final words of it, but whatever.
You said it was stupid.
All right, that's my final words. Looks like I'm sorry, but I give it. I do give it a 10 out of 10.
You give this a 10?
I give it a 10.
Wow.
I do like it. I enjoy it. I like what it was trying to do and it was representing and all that stuff. The animation for it is similar to the original, but it's not. We can see it's newer technology. It's not the same as the original was hand drawn. But I do give it a 10 for what it did and all the stuff. It didn't do the same shit that we got from the original. It did like go on its own path. I give it a 10 for having its own little continuation. It wasn't a remake of the first one. It did. It brought up moments from the first one, like, oh, that's a memory. That's a memory. The house thing is a given. Fuck it. We have to have the house running around scene, including we have the puppy, and the puppy has to go in the house. But like other than that, everything past the house scene is its own little thing. It had its own story set up.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the beginning, it was a whole different story. And then it's just literally when the snowman comes alive with the dog, goes in the house. It's the only copy of the first movie of the first short that we had, and the rest of it going to going to North Pole. That is another copy of going to North Pole like it did before, but it was a different setting. It was a different everything. There's a different event. We didn't have the same event for like the same thing we had in the first one where it wasn't an event. It was just you there. You show up with a snowman and you meet Santa. This one's like we got like a whole fucking festival. We got all this crap. They gave it more oomph to just a bland, just making it to the North Pole and meeting this random man in the middle of the North Pole, aka Santa, and then going back. It's like you did just you just had a fucking crazy outgoing night. And I
Well, the
do
first
give
one
it,
they did still have a party. Like there was like dancing and stuff. It's not like they just went there and
yeah,
it was awkward.
I
Like
know, but it's,
there was a lot going on in the first one too.
but I feel like this one had like it kind of they amped it up more than what it was.
They changed it up, which was
Yeah.
definitely a good no.
So like, it's just I give it a 10 for keeping it keeping it like as close as they can, but original as they can to the first one. And including the score wasn't that bad either. I don't mind the score. What it was I just wish the guy's voice was
The score is
slightly
good.
deeper.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's bad, but I think the original is like that much better. You know.
You're
So,
biased. Yeah, that's
what
it.
do you think, Jerry?
I'm gonna follow suit behind Matt. I'm also gonna give it a 10. I like how they kept it the same quality of the hand drawn art style. With newer technology, obviously is gonna add its own flair and dramatics to it. And obviously outside of the homage that they paid to the first one, it's a very unique experience, especially in the respect that we're dealing with an older child instead of a younger one now. So older kids, they still tend to older kids tend to bottle up their emotions, and depending on the child, they'll hold on to these like really fantastical wishes, expecting them to come true only to be let down, him hoping that he'd get his old dog back. But even with the snow puppy turning into his new pet, it's still very different. I do agree about the score. It's still very amazing, but I was definitely thinking when they were flying, I want to hear "We're Walking on the Air."
Yeah.
Like it's nothing against that guy's singing voice or ability, but for me, it's just a little too soft, especially for the instruments that were used. And definitely some of my favorite parts of this short were in the Snowman Village 2.0, where we got to see, the Latin America snowman, the Asian snow people, the snowmen from Russia and everything. Like you could tell they were trying to be as inclusive with like, oh, hey, there's snowmen everywhere else that are doing this same kind of thing. So why don't we incorporate them into, being like food vendors, just other people, and give them, their own sense of voice, so to speak. Definitely, I still enjoy how there's very little parental interaction. It's just the child going through what we assume to be this dreamlike trance, and he's going through this wondrous world with this unusual snowman who's come to life, and he's just taking him for what is the necessary experience of a joyous time through what would be a traumatic loss. And I definitely still think that if they do a third one, it would be kind of hard to top this just because of how original this was. Because, like in the first one, we all speculated that, the child was dealing with the loss of a loved one. And in this one, we're dealing with, the loss of a pet. So if they did a third one, I would like it if they could do one, but I'm not, banking on them saying, like, okay, we got 1 and 2. Let's get together for a 3.
No.
But it is.
I don't know if they could do a third one.
I don't know they could because the meaning would be the meanings they're going with. I don't know what else they can go with to keep it up with the same meanings of this. How this
Maybe they have a snowman.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a snowman helping a snowman.
Snowman?
No, I don't know. There's not really much more you can do.
But this is still very, very fun and festive. I enjoyed this a lot. I didn't enjoy this one less than the first one, but the first one's still definitely a special place.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the first one the most. I think this is a good companion piece. Like, um, the animation's really good for what it is. It holds true to the original. I mean, they use like some computer enhancements, which you can tell, but it's not like so jarring. Like I think we could really tell that it's different, but I think to an average movie-going audience, they would not be any of the wiser. You know, if you show this to your mom versus the first one, it's not like they're gonna go like, "Oh, this one is different." They're not really gonna notice. um, um, uh, yeah, I think it's a good companion piece. I think I said everything I wanted to say. The first one I give a 10 out of 10. This one I'd probably give it an 8. You know, it's definitely holds true to the first one. I enjoyed a lot, but I think the first one is so much. It's just so impactful and so powerful with like the use of the music and the use of everything. And like when he's like dies at the end, like he's really dead. And this one, I think the blow is like softened, which is not a bad thing. Like I like that little detail when the dog like hits the ball kind of towards him, and like he realizes that his snowman friend has passed on too. Like I thought that was a kind of a cool detail where the dog like has its internal realization that, oh no, you know, he's gone. So yeah, 8 out of 10 is definitely worth the watch.
Definitely, it was a fun short. Definitely fun. I still have a couple of days left in the year. I'll make time to watch the first one.
Yeah, I definitely will watch the first one. And like you don't even need to. I think like as long as you watch these in the winter, like it doesn't even really need to be Christmas. Like I feel like the first one you could definitely like watch anytime like in the winter. I think it would.
The only thing that ties in
is the
like
Santa
Christmas
stuff.
is Santa. That's really it.
Yeah, but he's not like he's not
he's
even
not
really
in it,
big
like-
prolific.
He's in
part
it
of
for like 5-10 seconds tops.
Yeah.
He's like in and out. He gives a gift
He
or
does
tells.
the job as a supporting character, and then he's just gone. He doesn't
Right.
try to steal
It's
the
not
focus
like
or the centerpiece.
exactly. It's not like you know the Snowman and Santa try to save Christmas. Like that would be a pretty lame.
You ready, Snowman? Ready, Santa.
Yeah.
Let's go. No.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Batman.
So we're gonna move on to Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. And Jerry.
Oh my God! Here's the spam. Here comes the spam.
Oh no, we're getting some hot girls or something. I don't know what's going on.
So, I will be taking the reins for Christmas Eve on Sesame Street, 1978. Right? I've been messing the year up all day.
There's so many.
Yeah, it's 78.
So it is. It's really like a film full of just small short stories. It starts off with Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch, and a lot of the Sesame Street gang. You know, they're getting together for the holiday with the families that live in Sesame Street. You know, singing, talking about, you know, what their plans are for holidays and final gift shopping. And then Oscar the Grouch as always has to poke a terrible fun tease to get people out of whatever happy mood they're in, saying, well, how's Santa gonna get his, you know, big fat self down that tiny chimney? And then it causes such distraught in Big Bird that he's just like, well, how is Santa gonna get down? He's not a thin guy. And then it you know, it cuts to Bert and Ernie buying Christmas gifts for each other. We also see that Kermit and Grover are interviewing children to help Big Bird through his dilemma on how Santa Claus gets in to deliver the presents. Some kids have fun answers. Some of them are kind of silly. Other kids are like, he just uses the Santa Claus key in magic.
He got his keys. What keys? Santa Claus keys.
And then we see I don't know if they're a married couple, but I'm going to say that they are. we see a married couple with some children teaching them a Christmas song in sign language. What else happened? And then Cookie Monster was absolutely unhinged, just eating a pencil, a typewriter, like cookies, and then he's just uncontrollably eating all these unnatural objects. And then at the end, he eats a
damn tree. He eats a goddamn tree.
He eats the tree, and he's like, "Cookies sit good. Tree give me heartburn."
Oh my god! When they said, "Oh yeah, you and Santa, Cookie Monster, you and Santa have something relatable. You like cookies, and he likes cookies. He likes cookies." He just gives him the face this motherfucker. No,
it completely destroyed his world. Yeah,
he's like
cookies.
Cookie, I don't eat cookie.
And
then it completely destroyed his world.
And then Big Bird gets Snuffleupagus to try to imitate how. All right, Snuffy. All right, just put one foot in the barrel so we can see how Santa gets in with his reindeer. And Snuffy's telling him, Bird, it's not gonna work. I've got so many extra limbs, and Santa's only got 2 legs.
Yeah. Well, like one leg of him is like 2 human legs. So like
so it's like he got 2 legs in, so Santa could easily
got in that gym.
And then he's like, "Do we know how he gets out?" And then like Big Bird's like all distraught at that point. He's like, "Oh man,
oh no."
And then Big Bird goes to the roof and is like, he talks to the pigeons and he's like, "Okay, guys, I'm going to sit up here all night and see how Santa gets through this tiny little chimney." And then all the residents of Sesame Street are in a frantic daze because it's getting cold and snowing. And everybody's like, "Oscar, you made Big Bird go off and disappear." And he does feel bad. He's like, "Oh, well, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, guys." Because it's the holiday, so you're gonna have people poke a little bit of fun, which he genuinely was sorry about. And then Big Bird comes down and he sees that Santa Claus has managed to deliver all the gifts and stuff, and he's like, "Well, how did he do it?" And he's like, "I can't think of the man's name he's speaking to," but he's like, "Is it that important to know how he did it, or are you just happy he did it?" And
Gordon. Yeah.
Gordon, thank you. And then what else? It was one more funny thing that happened. And then Bert and Ernie, they do the old Christmas story where the husband and wife, get rid of their most prized possessions to get, Christmas gifts for the other. And so when Mr. Hooper comes back after, Bert gives up his paperclip chain collection and Ernie gives up his very disfigured and horrific looking rubber duck, which I'm going to talk about later.
Rubber ducky.
Mr. Hooper comes in and is like, "I've got some Christmas gifts for you boys." And then, obviously they start piecing it together that they gave up their most prized possession to get a gift that they know their loved one would appreciate a lot. And then Mr. Hooper, being the absolute St. Nicholas that he is, was like, I can't, take these boys' prized possessions, knowing in good conscience that they did this for each other. And then there was a lot of singing. They were in the subway, and we got to see Oscar the Grouch's feet, which I've never seen before. So that was scary.
When he's like walking around, the big can on him.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Matt,
so I want to talk about this rubber duck.
He
has had that duck for 30 years. Yeah. It's all just nasty looking and disfigured. I'm like, what has he been doing to this duck?
Yeah, how dirty.
Having bath time, man. Bath time.
And I'm just, he's doing something to that duck during bath time. And he's not just squeaking it. It was, oh, Lord. And
what do you mean? What do you mean? What I'm calling the police. Help.
But this was, I haven't watched Sesame Street in a long time.
I
This
know.
was absolute fun. I'm laughing. I'm enjoying myself. I forgot how fun Sesame Street is.
This is like back in the 70s too. So like this is when Jim Henson's still on board. So I think it still has that like satirical edge to it too. Like especially like Oscar gets thrown through the fake wall.
Oh my god.
I love that. I love it's so fake. It's so bad that it's amazing. It's fantastic.
That whole ice
But the
skating
absolute best part of the movie is when Grover's talking to the little kid and he's like, little boy, how do you think Santa comes down the chimney to deliver the presents? But he's like whispering to him. And he's like, okay, you go to sleep and I'm going to try Santa's entry method.
Yes,
and then so he'll walk off shot and then come back in. The little kid will be sleeping and it'll be like, the chimney's blocked. What should we do? And he's like, open the back door. And he's like, okay. And he does that for a solid 3 minutes. And he's like,
good. That was
But it's entertaining the whole time. Yeah.
I was
this
waiting
kid was just so unbothered by all this. He just went along for the ride.
But he passed the vibe test with Santa. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. He helped me on Santa. But like I was waiting for Grover to come back and be like, when he did the window part, I was waiting for Grover to be, we're on the second story. What do I do now? like for like one, fire escape. Like go down the fire escape.
Yeah, that whole. Oh, go ahead, man.
I ended weird. Whatever. Go.
That whole thing, like with him whispering Billy and like doing that whole thing, I did that to my buddy, and we're in a car ride, like we're like we're like in a 3 hour.
Billy at work tomorrow.
Oh, I can't do that to Billy at work.
We're like we're like in a 3 hour car ride, and he's sitting in the front seat, and I'm behind him, and I'm whispering, and he's like, Billy. And he's like, what? He's shut, and he has no idea. He has no idea what I'm doing, of course. And like, and it, like he was kind of playing along with it. And then I sent him like the clip, like that scene, like I don't know, months later. He's like pissing his pants, like he's like, "Oh my god, this is what this is! Like, what the hell is this?" Yeah,
but oh
god,
definitely one of the. Well, to me, it was one of. Well, the whole film was meaningful, but the most meaningful thing to me was, so you guys remember in the beginning when they're in the subway, and it's the man and the wife. I'm just assuming they're married because, it just seems that way. But when everybody's singing, Sesame Street's Christmas song, they're singing it in sign language.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then we go back to that later where they're teaching the children how to, sign the song. And for me, that's, especially in 1978, that means a lot to me because one of my best friends is deaf, and she taught me a little bit of sign language, but it, that was years ago and I've forgotten it now. But I was like, man, that's really, just inclusive that they're, having a deaf person come on, teach children sign language. They have, Asian children, black, white children, in these horrifically ugly Christmas sweaters, but they should have, got this Christmas shirt.
Yeah, the kitty riding the, what is that, a unicorn?
Unicorn, baby. But it was, I did, that scene did make me tear up a little bit because, for me, that does hold a special place in my heart. And I was like, man, that's really, just comforting to know that I know Sesame Street was, like Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross, and, the Crocodile Hunter, they were teaching very positive and forward-thinking messages. And, that was just one of those things. I wasn't like looking for it at all. I wasn't expecting it, but I definitely have a strong appreciation for it being there.
Yeah, it's cool because like Sesame Street, even from the beginning, had all different cultures and like colors and races. I think that's always kind of what it's been about, and it's supposed to be just like a street in New York City, so they wanted to look authentic and have different kinds of people to be there.
Mhm.
Not just like
Hmm.
all one kind of culture or whatever. So like that's kind of what it's always kind of been. And like you said, it is cool that they have someone who is deaf and is doing sign language. So they're like incorporating that, and kids are picking that up. If you if you watch the if you see, there's a scene when they're singing "Keep Christmas with You," and the Bob and I forget the lady who's deaf who's doing the sign language. When all the kids are doing the sign language together, there's that Billy kid who's like who's in the scene with Grover. He's doing it too, but he's like looking
But
at
he's
everyone else.
struggling,
He
and he's
doesn't
just
know
like
what he's
he's
doing.
trying to keep up.
Yeah, he doesn't know what
Hell,
he's
he's the
doing.
youngest
Yeah.
in the room, so he's trying to make doing everything on
Yeah.
cue.
And he's
Really
definitely
adds to the
not.
Christmas element
Yeah,
because that
it
happens
does.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's awesome. That kid is great. He's yeah, my the whole paperclip collection and the rubber ducky with the soap dish. Like one year, like we watch this every year. So one year, my sister and I got my brother the rubber ducky and the soap dish as a Christmas present, and my sister got the cigar box and the paper clips, and we gave it to my brother. That was his Christmas present.
You guys would. You guys would.
That's hilarious.
You did this for JP, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he's the one who introduced me to this. It was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
um, I don't know. I've been watching this ever since I can remember, and like I don't know which version you saw. Did you watch the HBO one, or did you
I
watch
was
the
about
YouTube?
to start HBO. I was literally at the end where Oscar the Grouch just literally tells like Big Bird, "How does Santa get down the chimney? Like he's too fat." And then you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, watch this version instead." I'm like, "Motherfucker!"
Did
At
you
least
restart it, or did
I
you just?
restarted it. Need to
Oh,
watch
okay.
the YouTube one. Jerry actually watched both, I
Yeah, I watched
believe.
the HBO one last. What did I watch it? I think I actually watched it last Thursday.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I had it was still
Wait.
kind of fresh in my mind, and then you're like, "Oh, watch this one because there's some scenes that were missing from that one." I'm like, "Okay," so I just rewatched it, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see what kind of few scenes were missing."
Yeah, you know what? Well, it's like an important scene. I thought that was missing because I was
What
watching the
is it?
HBO one and they cut it out. I'm like, what the fuck? That was weird. I'm like, is it later on? I'm like, no, it's not. And then I'm like looking for it. It's right in the beginning where um Big Bird's trying to learn how to ice skate, and then they're like kind of like slowly playing Feliz Navidad like on the piano, and then
Hmm.
no, on like strings. It's like string instruments, and they're playing Feliz Navidad. And then in the HBO one, they just cut it right before the song, right before the big thing where he's like skating around and he learns how to ice skate, and it's like this whole big thing, and like they get rid of that song. I
Hmm.
think it's because they don't have the licensing for the song somehow, like for
Yeah,
HBO. It
which
was
is
weird,
crazy
and
because HBO has so many rights to their
right.
name.
That's what I mean, and it was so jarring to me. I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Don't watch this one. Don't watch this one." And
Oh
like
god.
it took me, it threw me off guard because I feel like it's a quiet like moment, but I think it's like pretty impactful, especially when the whole Feliz Navidad like comes out and it's like the whole song is blasting, and that's every time I hear that song, I think of that scene. You know, I just have that correlation with that song. So it's like it was weird not to see it. I was like, what the hell? I don't know I don't think there's anything else missing. I don't know. I didn't watch the rest because like it's like right in the beginning when they cut that song out. But I I do like the beginning when they're like messing with Bert and they're doing the barrel jumping, and like it's like Ernie's fake legs are in there, and then like Bert like
Why?
basically
They
crashes into
didn't
the
care
wall.
about his legs.
They're just
There's no question.
assholes.
They're hanging there.
They
They
just-
leave on the bucket, and they
He
don't
doesn't
do
need
anything about
legs.
it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I had 2 this whole time. I had 4. I had 4
Yeah.
pairs of legs. Like when I was watching that in my head, I'm like, this just gives me Jackass vibes of them bullshitting around because it's just so bizarre.
That's where Jackass got the inspiration from.
No, but
Sesame
the funny
Street.
thing is, the funny thing is, Jackass did do a few things of ice skating like this, so I can see
I wonder
them
if they watched
actually,
it.
maybe
Maybe they're
but, like,
inspired.
maybe they did
Definitely
get inspired
did.
because they did do some dumb shit, but they did it to their extent, like the extreme. But like the part when like Cookie Monster jumps, he just and he's just like covered in
Yeah,
the
he just
like,
scratches and
he's
everything.
like everything. I thought he just like they're gonna show like a crack in the ice and he's in the ice or something. Like I was like, oh okay, no, he's just in the side of the track, so got it. Then like they threw freaking Ernie with the thing, and I'm like, okay. Then they just dip out freaking Oscar the Grouch out the fucking area, and I was like, I had to rewind that so I could see where I went wrong. Did I see
Every
that correctly?
scene that they had Oscar the Grouch in, I was in tears from laughing so hard
Oh yeah,
That is
because of
Cookie
how
Monster.
cheesy it was and from how bad some of those lines were.
It's just that and Cookie Monster.
love-
Cookie
Oh,
Monster
yeah.
ate everything. He ends up calling Santa. He ends up calling Santa, and he ends up like thinking about it. Eats the phone, and Santa actually picks up. Santa actually talking to him. He's like, "Oh,
Hello,
hello,
Hello?
hello."
hello,
Santa.
operator.
It's like when you pull that out of your mouth, at that point, you have the
He ate
cord
the
coming
phone.
out. But the cord in his, like going into his mouth still. Then he destroyed the rest of the phone.
I love when he's typing. Yeah, he's typing and he's like thinking of the cookies. He's like, "Oh, nice round cookies, and macaroons." And he's like,
Yeah.
little raisins, and he's like eating all the letter
Yep.
stuff off the typewriter. And then he just goes berserk. He's like, "Cowabunga!" And then he just smashes like this styrofoam typewriter. It's amazing.
So I gotta know before we go on, what would you guys say is the worst Christmas cookie to leave for Santa?
Oh shit.
Oh man, something dry.
I'll go first. Oatmeal raisin, just because I hate oatmeal raisin cookies.
I agree on that one. I agree on that one.
What are those? Like something like one of those like I don't know. I don't remember what it is. It's like a super dry cookie. Like you bite into it and you instantly need milk, and it just sucks, and it just like dehydrates you.
Gingerbread cookie.
Something like. Well, I kind of like ginger. It's not gingerbread. I don't know.
I
It's
like a
something shitty.
soft gingerbread cookie. If it's old gingerbread
Yeah.
cookie, I can't. Old gingerbread cookie is the worst. It
I
has
think
to
it's
be
like
freshly made.
I think it like depends. It's like a
Who makes it?
crappy sugar cookie or something.
Okay.
I would say have you ever had that one cookie? I believe it's like a cookie, but it's not. It's like it's a cookie waffle thing, and it's like I forget what it's called, but it's like whenever someone makes it is usually in a circle or they make it into like a snowflake style, and it has black licorice flavoring in it, and I hate like it. It depends on who
That
makes
sounds
it.
nasty.
But it
That
depends
sounds
on
gross.
it depends who
And I
makes
hate
it because it's weird. Like it's like I was saying, like it's like depends on who makes it, like how heavy of a flavoring they put into it. If it's like a thin layer of the licorice, it passes. But like if it's like a heavy dose, it's just like why am I eating you? If it's like if I would never give Santa the one that someone actually just like, oh, I'm just guessing the flavor and it's just like bleh.
I was trying to look up the cookie. I couldn't find it. Just something really dry. Just something that's dry and shit.
Like a snickerdoodle almost.
But I like snickerdoodle. I don't know. It's even worse. Like a cookie that's made out of sawdust.
I definitely say the best cookie to leave Santa would be a white chocolate chip macadamia nut.
Ooh, that is a good one. That is a good
That
one.
is
think
a
the best
unrivaled cookie. I was just saying that is an unrivaled cookie, and it's not my favorite, but it's definitely second place.
I think the best cookie is to leave for Santa would be Matt's mom's homemade chocolate chip cookies because those were really good.
You kiss ass. I'm trying to think. I was gonna say like, I don't shoot. For me,
Feliz Navidad.
I would say this is difficult. Fuck. There's so many cookies out there. I would say it'd be like a chocolate double chocolate cookie, like something like that. Nothing too not too rich of a chocolate. Somewhere it's a nice blend where it's nice and even. That's like a cookie that's properly goes with milk. I believe for me.
Deep fried Oreos.
No, we're not doing this here.
They
come in threes. They always come in threes.
I know. I've been looking at the host chat, so I didn't even know.
I'm also looking at the host chat.
Someone has to look at the public in case. Oh god!
I didn't mean to get us off topic of Sesame Street, but we were talking about Cookie Monster, and that's what made me think about it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But Cookie Monster did end up talking about like lava cake or something, like cakes at the end, and I'm like, that's not Cookie Monster. Why are we going cake? He mentions cakes.
Yeah, he does mention cake, kind of briefly.
Cakes, like it's like small like spot. He's like, ooh, cakes and all this, and I'm like, that's not you. Go back. No,
you're not
go
the
back
cake
to
monster. You're the cookie monster.
It's like when they try to make him into a vegetable monster. That's not.
Yeah, how long did that last? Like 5 minutes.
That long.
5 seconds, and everybody hated it.
Everyone was pissed. They should have started him out as Veggie Monster if they wanted to do that.
And progressed into his bad habit.
You
oh my
fucked
god!
it up already.
Yeah, they have healthy cookies, so you could just have them eat healthy cookies.
True. Yeah. I don't know what healthy cookies are, but sure.
So at Christmas last year in my yoga studio, my instructor, she brought in, because she's diabetic, so she brought in like these gluten-free vegan cookies. And I was thinking like, oh, these are going to be terrible. Gluten-free and vegan? That was a awesome cookie. It was probably the best vegan cookie I've ever had. Like it wasn't like, it didn't have that weird like plant taste to it. It still tasted just like a cookie. Like even the chocolate chips and stuff. I was like, there's no way that these are vegan. And she's like, absolutely. I've got the recipe and I made them. And I said, I have been eating chocolate chip cookies for 27 years. And you're telling me that this tastes just like it, but without any of the bad crap in it. And she's like, and she's laughing hysterically. And she's like, yes. I said, I told her to give me like a small doggy bag of them because I'm not sharing these with anyone. Like it, I hope she made some. That's awesome. Because they were just fantastic.
Are you going this year? No, you have to get the cookies.
I don't know if she baked them this year. I know she's changing up the schedule for the next couple of days. I think she's only got maybe 2 classes she's teaching a day this week and next week.
Oh man, you should demand it.
Just walk up and you'll get, where are my cookies? Where are my cookies?
If you send me and Matt one cookie, Matt will send you Stewart's ice cream.
We tried this.
Matt has to send me Stewart's ice cream after you guys play Gumby.
No.
Oh God. We're never doing that.
That game is never coming back out. The
game's retired.
No, that's staying the freaking drawer.
We'll make my nephew and his friends play it.
Okay, they would probably do it.
Yes.
Jerry, I already told
you gotta instruct them. No, stop! You're not doing it right. Yeah. All right, so this is how you Gumby.
Yeah, you gotta tackle each other.
So Jerry,
as hard as you can.
No.
If you get a concussion, that means you did it right.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what the Gumby game is, go to our Gumby episode and watch the whole thing.
Oh
And then you'll
no.
find out.
Yeah.
What's-
But Jerry, I did tell Trini
Oh.
I'll join your guys' cookie bake-off thing, so I'm gonna be sending down cookies at some point. Just need to know when you guys are doing that.
I
So
have
if you
no
do,
idea when they're doing that.
so I need to figure out when they're doing that so I can send in prior time.
Give me cookies. Where are my cookies?
You got
Don't make
cookies
him
on
eat the
Halloween.
telephone, Crispy.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
eat the
man.
goddamn telephone.
Pissed.
You're
Hell,
eat.
Matt. Leave me
Josh
out.
eats telephones for day, like every day. How many
I break
phones?
my phones.
That's you eating it.
Oh, they're gross.
Oh, sorry.
Man.
So
We're going off off topic.
Sesame
so much.
Street.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve on
Yes.
Sesame Street. There's one scene. I like how they implied that there's like swearing in it too. Like
Yes.
when the train, the subway passes by and like Oscar the Grouch says to Big Bird, "You are stupid," and then he's like, "You are out of doubt the stupidest word I ever met." You know, I actually done that one time. I forget. I was like at a train station. I think it was my brother, and there's a train coming by, and I was like, because he would know what it is. I'm like, "You without a doubt the stupidest," you know, and like the train's coming by.
I'm not. I kind of want to see if there's an Easter episode because at the end of this episode, this
the
special,
Easter Bunny.
he's like, "So Big Bird, how do you think the Easter Bunny puts out all those eggs for all the children at one night?" And Big Bird gives that face like, "What did you say? What?
How did you do it?
How did
He
you-
has
what's
like
going
that
on?
light bulb start flickering, like he's onto something,
What's
and I'm
going on?"
following what he's saying.
Yeah. Oscar, and then like Big Bird's like about to cry. Yeah. I like how he's on the roof like of Sesame Street, I guess. So like one of the buildings. I guess Gordon's apartment. And
Yeah.
then like Santa Claus, like you hear the footsteps and like you see a shadow that's shaped like Santa Claus, and then he wakes up and like there's no Santa Claus. Like I don't know. I like how it's like implied that he's there, but like you never see him. I'm glad they never show Santa Claus.
Yes,
Like I think it would have
that
cheapened
was
it.
absolutely perfect
Mhm.
Yeah.
because we already have the fake snow and stuff. I don't need to see Santa to know Santa's there.
Yeah. No, that's what the magic is. I think that's like kind of the theme of it. It's like, oh, just have faith, it'll happen, you know. I think that's pretty cool. You know. And I love Oscar's song where he's like, "I hate Christmas," and he's like fucking destroying everyone's like instruments, and he's like pouring sludge.
Everyone's like, "Hey man, we understand that you don't like Christmas, but we want you to be in the spirit."
And yeah, and Mr. Hooper's face where like he rips the L from Noel, and he's like, it's perfect.
Oh God.
It's so good. This is the best movie ever.
There's the part where Oscar the Grouch is like definitely the highlight of this, at least.
Yeah.
And like
Always.
I love the part when they're trying to make him like feel guilty of what he has done. And he's like, Big Bird's out there in the world. Big Bird lives outside. But he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, but he has to wear electric blankets and heated mats. And it's like, he lives outside. What do you want? And so how he just says it's like he knows, like, it doesn't matter. He lives out there 24/7.
You know, yeah. I like how Kermit is in this. Like, it's very rare
Yes.
when Kermit or any Muppet is in Sesame Street or they're like interacting with each other, even though they're basically the same thing. Like, you never see
They
them
are in
together.
the
No.
same universe. They just on different ends of the coast.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
when-
California and New York. That's
when
very
they
true.
did the part when Kermit comes in and he's like, "Oh, I'll get my friends and we can go ask the children around here some questions." And the little girl with Big Bird's like, I'm a child and I don't know anything. In my head, I'm like, they just did this because they couldn't afford to get the rest of them on board for this special.
What do you mean, like the rest of the kids?
No, the rest of the
The rest of the
Muppets.
Muppets.
The rest of the
Oh, the
Muppets. And they're like, it was,
I don't
we're
I
think
good
he
was
enough to get
needed any
Kermit.
other Muppet though.
Yeah, I was
think
going to say,
Kermit-
I'm glad it was just Kermit because Miss
Yeah.
Piggy would
Yeah.
have been a pompous
Oh,
sasshole.
God.
Yeah.
And then Animal would have been terrifying as a child
He
in this
would have been,
holiday season.
yeah. He would have been eating fucking Cookie Monster's aftermath of his typewriter.
I would see him being
Animal
him
would have finished
bullying.
eating the tree that Cookie Monster got heartburn from.
Yeah,
I can see him being like a jerk to freaking Oscar, kicking his can down the street, like, yeah,
Playing it like drums.
yeah, that too.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think all you needed was Kermit. And like, I don't want to ruin the magic for you guys, but like, it makes now watching, I kind of like think of the logistics of like what the puppeteers are doing. Like, so like when Kermit's on the barrel, I'm just thinking of like, oh, Jim Henson is shoved in that barrel, inside the barrel, like doing this. This is what he's doing. And then the monitor. So I'm curious what they did with Big Bird, how they got him ice skating, because in I was watching like how they operate Big Bird. They like there's a monitor inside this Big Bird suit, and the actor Carol Spinney would look at the monitor, and it would be mirrored. It would basically be like what the camera is filming. So it'd be mirrored. So it's like basically like our podcast, but you would have to like, move in the opposite direction of what you're seeing. So like for someone to ice skate like that, like, how do you do that?
That's a lot of precision.
Yeah.
I'm sure they made her take a lot of, ice skating lessons to be able to do that.
I think they got they're just like the beginning credits. It said like whatever special ice skaters. I think they got them to do that part, to do the ice skating part. I don't think they got Carol Spinney and like the actual like voice actors to do the ice skating. They got like some special ice skaters. But I thought it was funny that also Carol Spinney, which is a guy. Carol Spinney's a guy. He which is I don't whatever. Anyway, he plays Oscar and he plays Big Bird. So I'm like wondering like, so who's he operating? Is he in the Big Bird suit? Who's operating Oscar? It just made me like think of like the logistics of it. Well, like,
they probably did really like,
matter.
all right, frame 1,
yeah,
all right, frame 2, and then just did it like that.
Yeah, but there seems like they're together, like they're in the same frame.
Yeah, they were in the same frame at one point.
Yeah, so it wasn't like that cheap. And then like there's the one where they're singing that beginning Christmas song, and they're like getting tickets from that guy who's in there's like a bar, and he's like giving them like subway tickets. And I always thought that guy was in jail when I was a kid. I'm like, oh, that guy's in jail. Guy's in prison. You can't hang out with him. Yeah, so that's really all the information I have about this. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to add?
Oh God.
I would like to go ahead and do my final thoughts and review. Definitely it's Sesame Street, and who didn't grow up loving Sesame Street? So it's an automatic 20 out of 10. I haven't watched Sesame Street in so long. I thought it would be cheesy, which it was, but it was the fun cheesy. Like going back and watching something is going to be as cheesy as could be, but you still fall in love with it. Everything about Sesame Street Sesame Street will never not be amazing. Child, adult, senior citizen, no matter what age you are, Sesame Street will always, always be fantastic. And definitely they captured a great magic during this Christmas special, because not only did, they have, all different races come in, and they have, people come in and teach children sign language, but we also got to see Kermit with the Muppets, not the Muppets, with the Sesame Street gang, which is cool. But there's one more piece of magic that they can only do on Christmas. Did you guys notice who was in the beginning?
What the beginning of like an
No.
ice
In the
skating
be-
rink?
in the ice skating ring? If,
Count.
if you looked close enough, I was there puppeteering Count Von Count
The
because his puppeteer is Jerry Nelson.
Oh, really? Did it say that?
It's
What? That's amazing. I didn't
And
know that.
if you freeze frame it at the right
Oh, it
moment,
does
I'm
say-
also there with Snuffy. I'm
Yeah,
Snuffleupagus as well.
You do Snuffy and the Count voice.
That's right. So I am forever ingrained in Sesame Street.
And you're a white guy.
It's all part of the Christmas magic back then.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I mean,
so not only did we rewatch A Great Time in Sesame Street, you got to watch my previous legacy.
Wow.
Jerry's new life.
So Matt, not only did you watch me as a professional ninja and as a TV host, but I'm also a puppeteer.
And wait, my life, our friendship's a lie. What the fuck?
I'm Keanu Reeves before he was the chosen one.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god! Stop.
That's amazing. Yeah, Jerry Nelson. I guess he passed away in 2012. So you're reincarnated.
Right before we started hanging out.
Incidentally,
Poor
the
guy.
following year is when I met Matt.
What the fuck
my
is this? It's adding up. It's adding up.
I do want to say one of the actors of Sesame Street just recently passed on. The guy who plays Bob, the one who's singing Christmas. What's it called? Keep Christmas with You. Bob McGrath. He just passed away. I think like a month or two ago. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that down. But I just wanted to mention that.
Yo, help!
But Matt, feel free. Go ahead. Tell us what you thought about Sesame Street and seeing my live performance in real time.
Matt.
My mind's been blown. Give me a minute. No, it's God. No, I agree with Jerry. This is a great freaking special. There's a great special that we've watched. Actually, it actually does it hits a lot of certain spots, and I enjoyed what they were doing and like how they would do these segments, and they didn't drag. Like the one thing I did like how they did with the segments was they didn't drag on with a segment. It was like you get this part of the segment here, we cut, we bring in this other transition to another segment, but we will come back to the other segment that we were doing previously, just to give you a break, but close that segment off. I did like how they were doing that, and I enjoyed them doing them bringing in the kids and having them interact with the Santa Claus stuff, because it was actually pretty funny and it was what I wonder what the kids would actually think of what Santa did back then, other than my own thoughts when I was a kid. But
these are just like off the cuff.
Random,
it's not like it's scripted. That's what the kids.
That's a nice thing to have. The one thing is I did not pick up the the sign language like Jerry. I got it a little bit later on, but it wasn't a quick pickup for me. But I did enjoy all the little segments. Two favorite people definitely was Oscar the Grouch and Cookie Monster stole it from me. Not gonna lie, and I actually I do give this a 10. I do give this a 10. It's so kooky, out of place, but they have the funny thing is they have a legitimate story to tell. Is that Oscar the Grouch screwed up Big Bird so much that Big Bird had to figure out how Santa goes down the goddamn chimney. that was the only constant thing that was throughout the whole 1 hour special that wasn't like small segments off of the real story. There is a whole thing to it, but like to Oscar the Grouch to screw him up for Easter, the next up and coming freaking what's it called, holiday. But I do it was good. I'll watch it again. I see why Josh watches this every year, but I do have a thought that right now I do have a thought that Josh didn't watch this yet this year. So to watch it this year, why not watch it and talk about it on the podcast with his friends? Or have you watched this already before this?
No, I didn't.
So this is
worked out. But I feel like that everyone needs to see this. This is like something I try to show everyone, especially like the wall part. Like when he's getting
I have a feeling I've seen this before when I was little, but it's been so long since I went back to see this that I don't remember it all the way through.
It's so good.
And it's weird seeing them in humans in costumes as them running around. It's kind of
strange.
But
like when you're a kid, you don't even question it. You're like, "Yep, they're ice skating."
Yep, no, that's real.
Yep. That's them.
Mm-hmm. No questions here. No lies detected. Honestly.
Yeah. So, So I gotta ask you guys before I give you my ratings. What did you think when I said we're gonna watch this? Were you like, "Oh no"?
No.
I thought it was interesting because I'm like, man, Josh has been the only one with Christmas picks, and I've just been going so far to the right field.
Same.
I was like, I feel like Josh is subtly throwing the head, like, okay, guys, this is the second time now I've done Christmas. What do you guys need to do it?
Yeah, it does.
No, I actually wanted to do Christmas this time. I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I've been wanting to do this for a while.
We gave you so many curveballs that I thought you were giving us the curveball here. Like you're just throwing your wrench into everything. Like, aha, you did this to me, I do it to you.
No, this was a legitimate pick. This was.
And then I decided to watch it because I forgot the year that you told me. Like you said, I just remember Sesame Street Christmas special, and I go on HBO Max and I type in. I'm like, there's 3, so that's why I texted you guys. So which is the movie we watching? And you sent me a thing. I'm like, okay, I assumed it was that one, but I thank you for clearing it up. There's like 3 of them on there. I'm just like, oh no. I know it wasn't the ones in like the later 2000s. Definitely not. It was like 2006 and the 1978 one. It was like my 2 like balancing a little bit, but like,
yeah, definitely not.
The one that was like 2012 or some shit. I was like, that's not Josh.
No way. No, I watch this every year. Like I quote this like throughout the year as well. Like especially with my siblings, like my brother, like we always sing "Keep Christmas with You" as like a joke, or just like sing it. You know, like there's like quotes in this that are like when I like the analogy Oscar the Grouch says like about like Santa Claus going down the chimneys. Like that's like shoving a basketball down a ginger ale bottle. Like I say that sometimes because I just like that analogy. No, this movie's a classic. I give it a 10 out of 10. No other words need to be said. You watch it. It's on YouTube.
It's Sesame Street.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, and it doesn't.
Someone hates Sesame Street. If someone hates Sesame Street, they have an issue.
I like how it's like still Jim Henson, so like he still kind of has that edginess. You could tell like when Jim Henson is still a part of Sesame Street because there's more edge to it. I don't know, like that implied Oscar the Grouch swearing, like him saying he hates Christmas and like destroying public property. And like all that stuff, and like Oscar the Grouch getting thrown through a wall, Like that stuff is amazing. So, yeah. So we're gonna move on. 10 out of 10. What was I gonna say? When Christmas time is over, don't be sad. Keep Christmas with you.
Good night, y'all.
Oh my
This was Josh from.
Wait.
I still have to say my picks.
Your picks. Oh yeah.
So we're going back to our regular schedule because we're gonna take a week off for the holidays.
Yes.
So we will be back after the new year, hopefully with some fun stories and New Year's tales to tell. And for my picks, we're gonna do a comparison because I figure with the holidays coming up, what better way to talk about it and go in the new year than with fighting games? So we will be watching the 1994 Street Fighter and compare it to the 1995 Mortal Kombat.
Oh, interesting. Aren't they both terrible?
They are.
Street Fighter's terrible. Mortal Kombat's better, in my opinion.
What's the one with the forearm guy?
That's Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Okay, I know. Like that animatronics, pretty wizard. I know that's pretty cool. Like that's.
I was thinking about saving this for like the anniversary of when me and Tony came on and did the Mortal Kombat episode. But I was like, you know what? It's the holiday, and for holidays, parents always get you the new action figures and stuff. So, and what the first thing you do, you start chucking them at your sibling. You make them fight each other and whatnot. And then Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are, some of the oldest franchises people kind of still recognize today. And I was like, this will be a very interesting one to throw at the guys.
Didn't they make a Street Fighter show on Netflix now?
There is, but we're not watching that. We're watching the 1994. We're watching the 1994 movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, where he does the infamous Van Damme kick.
Mortal Kombat. Oh man, 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. Street Fighter, a 4 out of 5 on IMDb. Let's see what.
Oh God, I was just trying to ruin this before we started.
Okay, so if you guys don't want to be spoiled for Street Fighter 1994 and Mortal Kombat 1995, be sure to watch that before next episode. Let's see. Oh well, Mortal Kombat has better reviews. Okay, all right. Good. Did I say my outro? No, I didn't.
No.
Good night. This is Josh telling you to keep Christmas with you all through the year.
And this is Jerry telling you to be nice or you'll get a lump of coal for Christmas.
And this is Matt. If you're not good, I am going to steal your Christmas. And becoming super pals one episode at a time.
Goodbye.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year.
Good night.